First off, before I do this review, I just want to say thanks to 11 Arts for constantly giving us the opportunity to see a lot of really wonderful, unique, beautiful anime films. Thank you for allowing us to see these things. I've been enjoying getting this opportunity to watch these and just enjoying them, whether they're subbed or dubbed, and a lot of times they do both for all these. And it's just great to see this. Over the years, so many great anime films have been able to go outside of Japan so others can see the beauty they are. You know, I mean, obviously the big ones like Your Name. I'm talking about like more recently, even ones that, you know, I consider better than Your Name, like Makia. That thing was amazing. Saw it quite a few times. A silent voice quite a few times. More recently, you know, again, stuff like Fireworks, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Penguin Highway, and then just recently did a review on Weathering with You, which was an amazingly beautiful film, and I kind of think I liked it more than Your Name. So Makoto Shinkai's work, I thought I enjoyed that more than his previous one. And now with The Wonderland, this is just an amazing movie. It looked interesting just because I was like, hey, this is a chance to see another awesome animated film. The Wonderland was truly beautiful. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, this looks different, this looks interesting, and it's another opportunity to see another animated film that isn't, you know, like, no offense, it isn't like Dragon Ball Broly or My Hero Academia. I mean, I want to see actual films, not mainstream films, you know, as much as, you know, back in the day I enjoyed like a Kenshin film or Yu Hakusho film or something like that. Now it's just like, no, that's like the anime, let's just continue in a series I like, which the series I like usually aren't going to get movies, so meh, it's usually the mainstream stuff. I don't like the mainstream stuff. This, I like to see art, you know, stuff like Millennium Mattress, Perfect Blue, so many good examples. As I mentioned earlier, Silent Voice Maki and stuff like that, holy cow. But this movie, the style was nice, the character designs were wonderful, the animation was nice. One of my favorite things about it too was the music. How can I describe it? It was adorable. I don't know if that's a good description. That's how I felt about it. It was fun, like I was tapping my toes, wiggling my feet onto it. It just made you feel good, made you go along with it, made you happy, and it just cute. It was what the film's about, where it's kind of like a uplifting, happy, magical journey. It's a very good magical adventure. Director Keiichi Hara and designer Kushinov Ilya. The animation style was beautiful. Character designs were wonderful. I liked the characters. I liked the story. It was a nice little adventure. It was a nice little story. Again, it was a good story. I liked this year how the first two anime movies I've seen of this year alone were like happy films. You know, not tearjerker stuff. They're like, you know, where it's like, oh no, Silent Voice, Makia, Pancreas. It's like, they're all these sad. Even Penguin Highway, because the ending, spoilers, with waifu, she was awesome, and just to see her having to go away, it's like, no, these two, there was like happy endings, joyous endings, and it made you feel good. You get the emotions, you get the feels, you tear up a little bit, but it was for like the good reasons. It was good. It was tears of joy and wonder for something so amazing. Character, world design, I mean, it made you think. Again, I'm not that big fan of the Ghibli stuff, but it made you feel that. It really captured it. There was a good message on there. Again, just the visuals and the characters and its world, very captivating. I mean, it is a wonderland. It is a wonderland. It's gorgeous. I like all the little creatures, like the sheep. Just a nice, simple story. I know a lot of people probably aren't going to like it because it's simple. It's like the people who didn't like Frozen 2 are most of the people who didn't like Frozen 1. But the people who liked it, and then that smaller percentage of the fan base that's like, well, the story wasn't there. I don't think they understood the story, because there was no Hans. They have to have a conflict or a villain. It's like, no, stories do not. I constantly say, you don't need that. You just need a good story. The characters, what they go through, is enough for that conflict. You don't need like battles and car chases and CGI and effects and boom ba ooh everywhere. I mentioned it a lot too. Hannibal, 3 seasons where it was like hardly any action in that. It was just all the intenseness of the dialogue, what the characters went through. There was hardly anything that went on in an episode. You'd have 40 minutes of pretty much nothing really happening, but so much happening. And that's what I felt like with Frozen 2. I mean, obviously, if you watch it, you understand who the villain was, what the main focus of the story was, and how it progressed and everything. Same with this. Even though there is a villain, but it's mostly not about that. It was a wonderful film. I liked the voice acting. The characters' voices were great. Kane, I thought she was, I liked her personality right from the get-go. I liked the start. I liked how she had to get woken up by her cat. I know, us around here, if you know Akawui, if you see her stuff there, you wouldn't mind that happening to you to wake you up every morning. I'm just saying, because she's a naughty, thick cat girl. But anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about. And she has like this nice relationship with her mother. The mother, Midori, has her go on an errand to go get her birthday present. She goes to to a friend of theirs, her Aunt Chi, her little shop there. And right from the get-go, I was in love with her. I liked how they said like, she's a witch, and how she is a good salesperson. Like, she can do the trades and stuff, then really talking in the behind this one poor guy. But then it kind of works out, I guess, for the guy in the end. So I'm like, lucky guy. But I liked her attitude from the start. It's kind of like what I liked about, we don't talk about this enough, I feel like, in anime films or anime in general, the women women of anime. It's always the girls. But I've noticed a lot in the movies lately, the women are really good characters. I mean, besides being like super hot. It's just, there's a lot of depth to these characters, and her character has really got me going through a lot of it. But they go through this, like something weird happens, I don't want to spoil too much, and then you get this magical world coming from Chi's basement. Yeah, Chi's basement. And the strange man, I love him with the glasses, the suit, the mustache. Always with the mustache, it's so funny. Hippocrates, sorry if I'm butchering it, but I can't remember exactly how to pronounce it. He's an alchemist, and he calls her the Green Goddess. And then adorable little Pippo. I love that little guy. I will fight for that little guy. I know he is a male character, but he is kawaii as fuck, and I would do whatever to protect that little bastard. He is adorable. I love the characters in this. It was so cute. And they need help to go save their world, and she's the chosen one. And then there's the anchor that goes around her chest. I mean, whoops. I'm thinking naughty stuff there. I do like Chi's welcoming when she grabs around Akane's button body's like, oh, you'll develop nicely like me someday. It's like, yeah, you will. Again, she's cute. I love like the kind of grumpus kind of like attitude she has. I like how the two of them play with each other a lot. There's a lot of cute moments. The apprentice Pippo is adorable. And we learn about their world. We go through each little aspects and parts of this Wonderland, basically. From the start with the bird with the eggs, down to where they meet the villain finally, and then to the mayor. It's a nice little story between the mayor's mom and then in sweaters and getting on how the importance is of that. Then we get stuff, again, there's all these things that just, it's all about the characters and they intertwine, and they just shows you the good of people and how you want to help. Really good messages, and good messages about the environment and everything else. And I like how they talk about stuff with water and how the color, without the water, everything loses its color, and it's a beautiful place, and you see stuff kind of dying out and it's shriveling and it loses its color and its luster. It's a nice little message, and you want to help keep that world, because at the end they're all like, this world's beautiful, it's wonderful, keep it wonderful. Especially when they talk to this old man about the two worlds, and it's like, we never advanced past, you know, the steam engine because we were happy and content with the lives we have. We don't want more. You people want more. And it's like, yeah. And again, bring it Frozen 2, like Olaf, where you joked about how technology is both our savior and our doom. It's like, yeah, it's like, we like the technology, but at the same time you miss the kind of like the simple life. When you watch these people in this land, it's that simplicity, just like being with people and just living a nice life in a beautiful, like seeing all of what nature and God has to offer and everything. It's wonderful. Then we get the villain, Zangu. He's really cool looking. I like the little, like, he's like a skeleton thing underneath, like some other kind of skull robotic interior. And then there's his apprentice, a little mischievous little punk, little bastard. Then we find out about all of them and the world and what's going on, why they're doing this. And then you hear about there's a ceremony that needs to happen with the prince, and they can't get the prince, and she's the goddess. And then you're seeing through all this, there's all this stuff hinting at who the past goddess was years ago and who saved everything. And eventually it shows you, and then you kind of wonder at first. And then when you see another example, you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure. And then after that, you're like, the third example, like, okay, yeah. It's in the end, it's just a very sweet, touching, compelling little story. I like the fantasy of it. Anime always does an amazing job. This is why everyone loves like anime. They can do a great job with storytelling, with characters, development, any genre out there. They're great at it, and the art and the animation of everything is, for the most part, always beautiful, and they can do really well with fantasy. I think they're the greatest when it comes to like fantasy. I myself, again, prefer slice of life, cute girls doing cute thing, ecchi, but they really do a good job when it comes in terms of action and suspense and drama and just this and development and fantastical stuff. They do a great job with it. I always applaud, and this film here was great. I really, really enjoyed it. So you get through the conflict, the turmoil, you learn about a bunch of moments. I really liked our Mr. Alchemist guy with Chi. There seems to be like, there's kind of like, you know, they get back and forth in a bad way kind of with each other, but he's always like, madam, and stuff like that, and then she's always like, hee 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 hee, with their cute little laughs and giggles. I'm like, okay, these two definitely need to, like, you know, I ship these two type of thing there. And little, again, Pippo, oh, he gets like, at the end he gets like a little kiss, like a little bastard from, you know, Chi. I mean, Chi is, again, I feel like I should do a video about the women of anime, because they're really good. Let's talk about the main characters, always like the girls, and there's always like the women. Like, I really enjoyed it again this year. The last film, Weathering with You, and this one, the women in there, hot and just damn likable and fun and just great characters in every way. But again, Akane was really good. She steps up. She's just enjoying the stuff there, and you can see when you're watching the scenery and the, like when they're watching the stars and how they're just in awe and admiring the beauty, you admire yourself too, because I'm enjoying those visuals. It does make you feel like when you see that stuff in real life too, you're just like, it's so beautiful. And they get to know the stuff. They get to know the people. They get to be closer and get empathy and all that stuff in connection with these people, and they want to help. And by the end of it, Akane steps up, finds that fear, keeps going forward. That's what the anchor's about. It's like a little anchor necklace that he creates, the alchemist, and then it like seeps into her to help her whenever she wants to look back or go back and not do something. It helps her push forward to do like next right thing. Frozen 2 again. Too many references, sorry. But it was good. It came with a good twist. I really liked it. How the twist, I don't know, I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, I'm usually usually a lot of times good at this, but it was a really good twist and stuff, and I really liked it. I mean, it wasn't like twist, but I mean, it was kind of like, that makes sense why this is and who that is and who, I'm not talking about the one where I said, like, there's clues like 3 or 4 times. Sorry, I'm talking about the bad guy. But anyway, it's a really good story. It's a lot of humor in there. It's funny. It's beautiful to watch. It's touching. It's emotional. It truly is wondrous. It's a shame this was done on the Super Bowl. So when me and my buds got tickets for it, we're like, oh crap, this is on Super Bowl. Which, I mean, I usually don't care, especially if there's no team that I care about. In general, I don't care. So I was like, I'd rather watch anime over it at the time anyway, especially when it's a movie like this and it's the only shot we get to watch it. And there was still like maybe half the theater, but I feel like if it wasn't chosen on that day, probably would have packed the whole. It was a big theater too, so it's kind of a shame. But I feel like go watch this, give it a chance. And again, thank you 11 Arts for bringing this out. Keep bringing more stuff out. I want to see it. I want to support it. Everyone go see it. Go support anime. Support anime films. It truly is beautiful, and I love how they still stick with that 2D hand-drawn style and look. I know they do a little bit of the CGI, but it's not for them. We ruined it over here with that. Don't taint yourselves with it. Even though the Lupin movie looks really good compared to that Pokemon one, I mean, that looks really good. I hope we get to see that over here because for reasons. But this movie was great. It was very elaborate. It was very wonderful. And again, that music, I loved and enjoyed. I loved all the characters. The humor of it was spot on. There was great moments. A lot of memorable moments. I can remember a lot of it and just be like, I want to go see it again. Again, the voices. I loved all the voices. Like, Akane's was very unique, and I really liked that. And just the personalities of everybody was just great, fun, realistic, and, you know, I don't think it was trying to compare itself to, like, Miyazaki or Ghibli. I thought it was its own thing. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to do that, but it's its own thing. It's wonderful. The Wonderland, Birthday Wonderland, it's also known as. I guess it's by what it goes by. We have it as the Wonderland. It has nothing to do with, like, Alice in Wonderland. I feel like it's maybe a little mix of that, Wizard of Oz, and some other stuff, but it's a really good story, unique little fun, simple story that just shows about the beauty of everything, the beauty of, like, the world, people, and good, bad, the conflict within ourselves, and how to do the right thing and what's right and everything. Wonderful, beautiful ending. The ending got me with, like, her and her mom and everything. It's a wonderful story. She is hot. She's super hot and waifu. Oh, and then when they're with their little sheeps up there, they're so cute and adorable. So many moments with the cats. Very good movie. I really enjoyed. The villain was really nice too, even though it seemed generic, but it was very well done. I thought the whole movie in general, probably my favorite besides, again, Weather With You. Good movies. I've only seen 3 movies this year so far. 2 of them anime and Frozen 2 for like we're going to be seeing it again, so it'll be like 10 plus times now. But I don't know. If you get a chance, go see it. Go see Weather With You too. Go see these movies. They're worth the time seen. You'll love them. I don't know if I did this for Weather With You, but for both that and this, 10 out of 10. Keep it fappening. Ding, 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 bang, 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 J, ding, 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 J.